Hi, I'm Delit, and I love cross stitch, and I'm excited to share my love of cross stitch with you tonight. I'm going to show you a book on cross stitch and also a gift that I was given that's more of an embroidery project by my cousin Pamela. We'll start with that, and then we will move on to the cross stitch since that will take longer. My cousin sent me this before Christmas, although I haven't worked on it yet. I need to gather together the floss and the fabric, probably a little bit of, well, not necessarily, but you could put a little bit of cotton underneath it when you frame it or finish it. But see, they're little Christmas ornaments, and I'll let you see them a little closer. She has sent me all the different other parts with the package, the little pieces of wood that I think you put the embroidery over, and gives it some weight when it hangs on the tree. So she sent me a bunch of these. And then it also has little like jingle bells and the little string that goes around the package. Not package, the ornament. See? So let me take it out of this plastic just so that you can see it well. It also comes with the what you're going to embroider so that you can trace that onto the fabric. It has the template that you trace and cut out the fabric with. And it has instructions for how to put it all together and what to do. Yeah, you start off by tracing them onto the fabric. Use 2 strands of floss. Press it on the back side. And then you do another one on heavy paper. That's what the larger size template is for. And then you cut out, oh no, I'm not sure. But anyway, you get some batting is what they're saying. Sorry, not calling it batting. I guess that lays a little flatter. And then you put the embroidery on top of that. And then you do your basting around the fabric and then you gather it. I guess that makes sense to everybody else. I wouldn't have thought of all these things. I'm glad they have all the steps. I probably wouldn't do it right if there weren't all the steps. But they show you the stitches, the different embroidery stitches, which is also probably good. I don't know that I know all of them. And they tell you which supplies you need. And they show you which stitches to put where. I don't think that I'm giving away any trade secrets by showing you that. They tell you which colors and which stitches to do for the different ones. But that will be really cute when I sit down and start making these. Aren't those just darling? I love all the different Christmas or winter themes in those different images. The mistletoe and Christmas lights and everything. It's nice of her to think of me and how much I enjoy just sitting and stitching. And it was a nice surprise to get in the mail. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you so much, Cousin Pam. Okay, sorry I'm taking just a minute to stow these away before I show you the book. I was going to show you something else, but I forgot to grab it and bring it in. And I'm so proud of myself for just getting along to make this video. But I'll just show it to you in the next video instead of this one. I'll just make this a shorter video. It's the Christmas gift I got my mother, a little embroidery tray, and it is very interesting. And I look forward to showing it to you next time. So the book I'm showing you is Cross-Stitch Patterns in Color by Gerda Bengtsson. And you can see I only paid 50 cents for it. It came out in 1974, so it's an old book. She's one of the pioneers, I guess, of getting people back into cross stitch in the late 20th century. I think she maybe went and did a lot of cross stitch conventions and other kinds of things. She's associated with the Danish Handcraft Guild. You can see that's right here on the front cover. And this is the back of the book. And I actually think these simple little pictures of life are just darling. I really love it for the flowers that are in here, but I also liked that. And it even gives you the title, the original title in Danish, if you're interested in that. If you're interested in the history of cross stitch and its revitalization. And it's just a thin, short book with some flower patterns, some potted plant patterns, and those little like life vignettes that are there. So one of the things that I really liked was, so she recommends using Danish flower thread, if you've heard of that, and then linen. I think you can do these not on linen necessarily, but one thing that you can do with all the flower, there's 12 flower designs. You can do it like all on one big piece. And I think I mentioned in another video that I had contemplated doing the flowers on the afghan that I had, putting them in the different squares. So there's different ways that you can do it. You could frame each of them separately. She has examples of putting them like in a placemat, which I know nobody uses placemats anymore. But boy, it would have been nice if I'd had some at Christmas dinner. My mother was frustrated that I had not put the table mat on the table, and her nice dining room table was going to get all scratched up. So we were scrambling to put stuff under the plates and dishes. And if we just had placemats, that wouldn't have been a problem. But anyhow, and then these are pillows. I know these are black and white. She does have some color in here, but she gives instructions on the size you need to cut your fabric and what size it is when it's done, and whether to use, one or two threads, how much of the hem to do, and all of that. So that's very nice. Tells you how to go about stitching it and doing it. And this is what I would really like to make, is a bell pull. Since there are 12 designs, I was thinking, well, you could do 2 bell pulls that were in different places. A one long bell pull of 12 would probably be too much. But I also like what she's done here. She has 7, and then she has 3 that she's done bigger next to it that you could frame. These are these little vignettes that she's done, a few of them together that you can frame. You could do that with the potted plants as well. I think she gives an example of that here somewhere. Right here. Even though it's not in color, she just calls it a wall hanging. So here what she's saying is just the design has been repeated. So those are not different ones, they've repeated them, but she does have different ones. I'm going to go through and show you the different designs. I think you can just use this to cover up the chart, and then you can see the picture. And what I really like, she is known for her love of nature and being faithful to what is in nature in her design. And she's included the common name, Scotch rose, and then the scientific name, Rosa pimpinellifolia. If you are someone who wants to cross stitch that or write it somewhere to have with the design that you stitch, I think it's nice. I like those when they have that. So we'll just go through and look at the different designs. This one is the Helen Rose Lichen. Well, if I show you, the name of it first, maybe that will help. Here we go with the Ayrshire Rose. I just don't think I have room for that many separate framed flowers because I have so many other designs I want to stitch that I think the idea of putting them all in one design or in an afghan or a bell pull, 2 bell pulls or whatever, is a nice idea. I love this. Isn't that beautiful? Here's the name. Golden Rose of China. Just beautiful. They're 70 wide by 70 high, all of these designs. So however big whichever size fabric you choose to use, you need to obviously cut it bigger than that. The cinnamon rose, really beautiful. Here's a Eglantine Lucy Bertram rose. This one is just the dog rose. Lovely. This one is the Moya's rose. I guess I should have shown you. The Eglantine. I suppose I'm saying that right. It's not something I've ever heard. I just am guessing. It's really pretty. I love all these pretty pink roses. Sorry, I'm not a little faster. I just am slow. I always kind of have them. Here's the name. Really pretty. I think that's the one on the cover, maybe. Oh, maybe not. This is the David rose. I wouldn't know it was a rose. Hopefully I'm not covering it up too much for you to see and appreciate. But it's interesting. I mean, even though it doesn't look like a classic rose, still very interesting to look at. Here's another eglantine. Okay, so that's the end of the roses. These are the little, I don't know if this is like based on what life was like in Denmark or where she lived or just city life. I actually like just the simple border that she's used to go with the simplicity of the image. Kids out playing. Here's another one. From when they used to call jumping rope skipping rope, if you're old enough to remember it being called skipping rope instead of jumping rope. Here we are on a day when I love that there's a sun, even though it's rainy. Oh, this one is very refreshing. I really like the trees in this one. I actually haven't started stitching any of this. I haven't quite made up my mind of what I'm going to do. I would enjoy it. The design doesn't have to be complicated to be, I think, to be satisfying. So I like these simple little images she has. I especially like that European style house there. Oh, here's another outdoor scene I really like. Oh, I like how there's things you can't see, but you can imagine them, like the wind. And this is kind of a more, for me, a more European style church. Maybe people in other parts of the US have churches like this, but we don't really have them like this around here. There might be a Catholic church or something that looks kind of like that in a couple places, but there just aren't very many of this style here in Utah. I really like these potted plants. This one little window is, I really like it, but I also like the idea of putting the different potted plant images together. You could also just use part of these in making something else, like a bookmark or some other item. I love how tiny those little potted plants are. Some more. Somebody who does a better job of keeping their plants watered than I do. I think I'll probably have to stick with cross-stitched. And I buy them, and they last a while. Eventually they get forgotten or not tended to well enough. I used to do better when I was younger at keeping plants for a long time, taking better care of them. Now they just kind of get ignored. Like I know I should water them. They're right there by the sink. Don't get watered. My mother doesn't like that. She says that's cruel to a plant to not water it or to not dust the leaves. I think, oh dear, add that to the list. Oh, they do say the names of all the different plants in the pictures, which I have not been sharing with you, but they are geraniums and shrimp plants and all kinds of good things. Mother of Thousands is in this one. Maybe should have shown that to you. I've gone through maybe a little too fast. Oh, these are lovely. I think you'll recognize the Morning Glory, and I can't really say the names of the other two. Well, this is lovely. Lots of different kinds of plants. Really neat. If you're into plants, this might be just the book for you. This would be a good thing to make for my friend who loves horticulture. If I would ever finish it, she might really enjoy it. I think that some of these are not as big as the ones with the flowers, but I could be wrong. It could be that these are all the same size. So you could maybe do an afghan of the potted plant. Because there's a nice number of them. I felt like there were only so many of the life scenes. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I maybe went through a little fast for you, but I just thought it would be nice for you to see what this Gerda Bengtsson had done. And if you have the Danish flower thread, wouldn't it be nice to use the exact threads that she's recommending? If not, I guess you can find colors that work and look nice for the pattern. Or maybe there's like a conversion from Danish flower thread out there to like DMC or your favorite floss. So if you have any questions or comments for me, please leave them below. Thanks.